talk about drawing and shading in solid shapes. Now, a two-dimensional shape or plane shape is something like a square. If you want to turn a square into a solid shape or a three-dimensional shape, you can draw diagonal, 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 and then you connect those with a vertical line and a horizontal line. Now, to shade this, you need to decide where the light source is coming from. If the light's coming from the front, this would be lighter, and the two sides would be darker. If it's coming from this side, it would be lighter, and so forth. So, let's start with a light source. We'll say the light's coming from this side. Now I'm using oil pastels, which are really nice for blending and creating new colors. Now I've decided that my light source will be this side. So I'm going to color this side, but I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Going to do that by using a darker shade of orange. And I'm going to make the top darkest by using a darker orange. Now I'm just going to use my finger to blend those colors. And there we have a three-dimensional cube. Next, I'm going to draw a sphere. Now, a sphere is a three-dimensional circle. So I'm going to use this tracer. Right now I just have a circle. A circle is a flat, plane shape or two-dimensional. Now to make it three-dimensional, I need to do that with shading. So I'm going to start with my lightest color in one area. This area right here in the center will be white, so around it I'm going to do lighter shade. Around that I'll add a little bit darker shade. And it gets darker as it moves out. Going to go even darker as I get towards the edges. So making sure I go all the way from light to dark. Now to add some contrast, I'm going to go in with some black around the edges. But I'm going to keep the black away from my light source. I'm also going to go in my highlight with some white. All right, now I'm going to blend. Notice that I'm blending in a circular pattern. I'm not going up and down or side to side, going around in a circle. Now what's really going to make that pop is if I use whiter highlights and darker darks. Now instead of a circle, we have a sphere. It also helps to add a shadow. If my light source is coming from here, the shadow will be cast back here. Next, we're going to draw a cone. A cone is a triangle, but it has a curve at the bottom. The rounded bottom turns it into a three-dimensional solid shape. Now, to really make it look like a solid shape, we're going to add some value. So, typically, the darker colors are towards the edges. And the lighter values are towards the center. Now to blend, I'm going to follow the curve of the cone, going back and forth. Now I'm going to go back in and add highlights. I'm also going to go back and add some shadow. This creates that three-dimensional look. Next, we're going to do a cylinder. A cylinder has an oval on top, two lines straight down, and a curved bottom. Adding these curves make them three-dimensional solid shapes rather than flat two-dimensional shapes. To make any shape look three-dimensional, we need to make it look rounded by adding darker values to the edge and lighter values as we go towards the middle. Notice that I'm overlapping the colors to make them go from light to dark. Now I'm going to go darker as I get back towards the edge. I'm going to blend in the curved direction, blending horizontally, but I'm also curving. I'm going to color the top of my cylinder a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go back and add some shadowy areas. And some highlights. Now I'm going to blend. I could also go back and add some shadows. I'm going to add some color in the shadow as well. And this is how you add value to a solid three-dimensional shape.